Hey everyone, Boys here back in another video. Episode 14 the Bankroll Challenge playing some No Limit 2. You can tell by the title of the video, we went all in three ways. Really a make or break in half for us for this video, but you'll see that one later. Coming into the day, our current bankroll was 115.37. We bought in for our typical 4 chips, leaving us 111.37 chips. So now we're gonna hop right into it. I have A7 right here in middle position. I decided to raise it to 0.06 chips. Don't want to go too big given the strength of our hand. And we go multi-ways to the flop as you do on ClubWPT Gold as always. And the flop color is 10-7-10. So I do flop second pair. I'm one of the first ones to act kinda. I'm gonna raise it kind of big and hopefully get some protection with my pair of sevens. Hopefully, if anyone calls, I know they have a 10. And it looks like we're getting everyone to fold out, which is good because obviously the flops could kind of come a little dangerous for us. And we take that one down. So maybe they thought I was representing a 10, which is good either way. A win's a win. Like I said, small wins like that allows you to chip up nicely and earn a good profit at the end. But right here, I'm looking at a silver connector, 6-5 diamonds in the cutoff. I'm gonna raise it up once again with three ways to the flop this time, a little more manageable. The flops come 8-10 deuce with one diamond, so I don't really flop anything. Maybe a potential straight draw with the if a seven comes, and maybe a backdoor diamond. So I'm gonna slow down and check this over them, see what they do. And now the button takes a little bit to think about. He decides to check, and now the king. I don't really like the king, but I already decided I'm gonna play this hand strong. I'm gonna represent that I have a king in my range. Maybe I have like king queen or something like that. So I go a little big right here, about half pot. Hopefully you get the button out here, especially I can be the last one asked, and which does happen, which is good for me. And we also get the other person to fold. So back to back wins. A small little bluff right there. Now for this one, I'm looking down at pocket eights, the snowman. There's a raise behind me, kind of big, so I gotta keep in mind 0.012. Usually people bet like 0.6, 0.8, or 0.10. It's not really this large, but I'm putting a call. I just gotta be worried. Hopefully the blinds get out of the way because the blinds should be a little tighter and they should have calling like this type of size. They should have something like ace king, ace queen, maybe some type of king queen suited and stuff like that, those kind of hands. So seeing the small blind, put that one in. I just gotta have my alarms up, just to think like he can have one of these made hands kind of. And now the flop comes nine deuce five, so we're three ways to the flop. So I have second pair, so which is pretty good. I don't think they should have nines in hands unless they have pocket nines. And he decides to lead out once again. I'm not going with my pocket ace, like I said. I might be ahead right here unless he has nines. Obviously, he has like over cards, over pairs, like he has it, but I don't think he has it right now. Maybe just depending on what he does on layer street could tell me what to do. So let's say they're both gonna call right here, given that small blind takes a while. And now with the five on the turn, pairs the board, so I improve to two pair. If they don't have anything, they have one pair, obviously. And decide to slow down checks, which is interesting. I decided to check as well to see what they do on the river, which is a four of spades, so the obvious flush draw gets there. And now they decide to check again, so I might be ahead with my pocket ace with my second pair on this board. I'm gonna go about half pot, maybe a little bigger, a round number. I like round numbers. So I'm gonna go half pot to represent that I have particularly a flush. Maybe I have a nine in my hand. Just charge any of them. A prepay continue. Maybe they have ace high or something like that, and they call. So with ace four, so they have one pair, two pair, not counting the pair on the board. So it's interesting. Maybe he just thought I was bluffing ace high or something like that. So I think I got maximum value out of that hand. And next I'm looking at ace three offsuit right here. I'm gonna limp in. Everyone else is gonna limp as well. The flops comes nine jack ace, so I have top pair. Horrible kicker, obviously. Kind of tricky to play right here, given that I have top pair, horrible kicker. But since it's a limp pot, it's a lot easier to read. Obviously, they won't be in the hands like ace jack, ace king, ace queen, and stuff like that. Yeah, I doubt there'd be king queen. So I actually might be ahead of my ace three right here. I doubt they have a better kicker than I do. And now the three on the turn improves me to a sneaky two pair. I doubt has anything better than two pair, even though there's a obvious straight draw there. I checked that one. And on the river, I bet kind of big to see what kind of value. Maybe he has some type of jack 8 in his hand. Maybe he has a 10 somehow, like 9 10. So I'm just gonna bet kind of big, see what they do. And he puts in the call, which is good, but he has 4 5 or 5 high. So interesting. Back to back interesting calls by that guy. Hopefully I get more pots with him. Hopefully his round two cards don't beat me in the end, and hopefully I can just extract value out of that person. But next I'm looking at pocket nines right here. It looks like I'm calling a lot so far in this video. I haven't really had a chance to be aggressor besides our first hand of the night. So I will put in the call as long as it doesn't get 3 bet to me, and depending on the size, I still might put in call. So right here now the small blind takes some time and he puts in a big raise. So interesting, he can have kings, he can have queens, maybe ace queen, just 3 betting the pot, just trying to get ahead, be the aggressor. Now the flop comes queen 6 7, so like I said, he can easily have ace queen, which he goes big again. So I'm guessing he has a queen, maybe he has kings in his hand. So I don't know why. In the moment, I guess because 6 7 was on the board, I was thinking maybe I can get a straight draw, but I decided to fold it. Now the six of diamonds comes on the turn. We're just gonna see this hand played out just to see how they play, just to get information for later on in the night against these guys. And he goes big once again, so it's kind of confirming my suspicion that he has some type of queen, some type of overpair, and he decides to fold. And that just shows you in poker, you always want to be aggressive when you have good hands. Now for this one, I got Jack 10 offsuit. Looks like he's gonna limp around to me, so it's gonna be very payable. I want to raise this up if he limps around, so that's exactly what I'm doing. I'll go a little bit larger than I usually do. Hopefully take it down before the flop. But unfortunately, we get one color. I guess I have to go a little bigger for that to happen next time. The flop comes 3 ace queen, so I have a straight draw and a dream, but I don't think he should have any kind of ace queen in his hand. He can have some type of queen five, ace five, but given that there's another ace on the turn, makes the likelihood that he has the ace even less. So I'm gonna bet right here, hopefully represent that maybe I have some type of queen in my hand. And now with a five of diamonds, I'm gonna go a quarter pot just to make it seem like I'm going for some value. Obviously, he re-raises me. I'm out here, but I doubt that he has anything he could re-raise with, and he decides to fold. So I take down another little pot right there. Pretty good. Slowly chipping up as always, making our way close to like a one chip profit so far. Always can't win. We can't always win big. You know, small wins like this, it helps. It's not doesn't look the best, but it does help. So right here we're headed to the flop. Sorry about that popping up right there, guys. But the flop's 9, ace 10, so I flop top pair. I'm gonna slow down and check it. Maybe play this one a little slow because you could have ace 10, ace 9. And he decides to lead out very small, so kind of interesting. I'm not going anywhere just yet. Maybe that was just to protect his hand. Maybe he was on a spade draw, but now he bets another small bet. I'm gonna re-raise him, so given that I have top pair on his board, and I don't really think he can have anything that beats my top pair. And he decides to fold, so winning all my pots against this guy. Hopefully he doesn't go anywhere in this hand. And now we're looking at another hand, ace jack right here. I'm in the small blind. And right here, I'm just thinking I'm probably gonna put any call as long as it's not a 4 bet pot, because obviously 4 bet pots is usually an indicator of some type of high pocket pairs. So that's what I'm thinking, and then especially since I'm first act, makes the hand a lot harder to play. And now here comes a point 10 chip raise. So I'm kind of curious, checking his stats. He doesn't really raise that often, and he doesn't really put too much into the pot. So something to keep an eye of. Maybe he has something like ace king, ace queen. Maybe he's even doing this with like tens or nines or something like that pair, something like that holding, and then this guy puts in a squeeze. So very interesting. Let's say he's about to get what he wants and gets the majority of us to fold, and this is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna play a 4 bet pot with ace jack. Maybe I could have. You guys let me know down below. Should I have put in a call? Would you guys call that given my position and all that? But we'll move on to the next one. I have ace king right here. I believe this is our three-way all in pot, so probably the most important part of the video. I'm gonna 3 bet this really large since he went really large and he goes all in. So I guess I'm already committed since he 4 bet me. And now we're just waiting the guy right here in the middle between us. Hopefully he doesn't really get involved. But spoiler alert, he does. He goes all in. And since I already committed about half, a little more, less than half my stack, I'm gonna call, and I see pocket ace and pocket jack. So I'm definitely behind. Oh, but boy, thankfully we get a low straight. No, our cards connect to the straight and we just chop up the pot. That could have been horrible given the cards that they had. So definitely a little scary right there, laying out a sigh of relief. Could have lost more than half my stat. But on to this next one, I got Jack eight of diamonds, three ways to the flop a king 7-4. I decided to check just to see, especially given the first half. And now here comes the ace on the turn, ace of diamonds. So I could represent and have an ace, but I decided not to. I want to check around, see a free river, which happens to be an eight of spades. So I do have a pair of eights. I have some showdown value, so I'm gonna try a bet, see if I can get a fold out. Maybe go a little bigger, just to represent that I have something that maybe I was potentially playing it slow. And now he takes some time to think about it. Maybe he has like Jack 10 or something, but then he goes for a re-raise. Like, yikes, what could he possibly be doing this re-raise with? Takes me a little bit to come to the decision. Does he really have an ace and he's playing like this? Maybe he has a seven in his hand potentially, but I decided to fold. And he has ace. He has both. He has ace seven, so he had two pair. Had me beat all the way. Really wouldn't be able to get him off of that one. But now we're looking at the snowman for the second time of the night. I'm in the button with my pocket eights. I'm gonna put in the call is point 0.10 chips, kind of bigger what I usually do, but very playable. Three ways to the flop of Jack 5-7 and two hearts. I do have a heart in my hand just to keep that in mind. Checks around me, and now I feel like I have to bet for some protection, get some maybe ace tens, king queens to fold. So I go kind of big right here. Point 20 chips. Doesn't take too long, and he decides to put in the call. And now then the guy in between decides to fold, which is good. And now the seven of hearts on the turn. Obviously the flush is out there, pairs the board as well. I decide to check, and now here comes a jack of clubs. So he decides to lead out and go all in. Just yikes, another tricky situation. But I had three back to back hard situations right here. Does he really have a jack in his hand? Does he have some type of seven? I used extra time 'cause I just wasn't sure to. I wanted to put in the call so bad, as you guys can see. But I'm just gonna land up folding my pocket eights. I feel like I could have been ahead. I reviewed his hand. Unfortunately, I cut that bit off. He had a jack in his hand, so it was a decent fold by me. Sorry about that one. And now, as you can tell, we're losing players at this table. I have ace nine. Given that the short amount of players, I might. This is a really good hand. Obviously, when you play with the least amount of players, the hand variance is very limited, so they can have easily just some round two cards. And now we decide to put in the call, so two ways to the flop of 4, 8, 10. So I just have ace, 9, and a dream. I do have a potential straight. I bet once again, be aggressive and take that one down. And then after that one, since we lost a whole bunch of people, I decided to switch tables, get more action. I hate playing small tables like that. Obviously, that's not my forte. I don't really play small tables. I know some of you guys play like that, those small tables. Let me know what you guys think. How should I play it? Maybe I should play in the future. Let me know down there in the comments. But right here in the new table, I had Queen 10, offsuit with the flop of ace 5 king. So don't worry, I'll keep track of how much we made at that last table. I'll let you guys know at the end. So now with the turn coming another king, obviously the straights out there. There is a flush out there, a whole bunch of hands that beat me. So I'm just gonna check it over. And now he decides to lead out once again. And like I said, a whole bunch of hands that beat me. I just rabbit hunted right there. I wouldn't have hit my straight either way. And now I'm looking at one of my favorite hands in poker, pocket jacks. I'm sitting in the button. So since there's a bet before me in middle position, and it seems like there's gonna be some callers in between, I'm thinking about three betting this. I just don't know what's the proper size, but I'm definitely three betting it. Thinking about three times, maybe four times. I land up going with four times, so now I bet 2.24 chips. Hopefully the people in between full, but unfortunately we get a razor. And like I said, this is like my third second hand at this new table. And he has a big stack. So I'm just trying to figure out, is he trying to bully me with this big stack and trying to get me? But like I said, I like pocket jacks. Obviously they lose to those over cards. I'm gonna push them all in if he has those cards. If he has ace king, it's a flip then. But he folds, so I take down a decently sized pot. So now we're definitely in the green in this session. I believe I had like 0.40 chips to begin with, and now I'm probably around up two whole chips so far, so it's pretty good. Like I said, I'll update you at the end though. But now we're looking at ace seven right here in the cutoff. You guys know ace X suited, one of my go-tos, just given that you can hit the nut flush, and a lot of people seem like always call when you have it because usually they have some type of overcards or maybe a pair, two pair. So I put in the call. I'm not gonna squeeze this one. I thought about squeezing it for a tad second, but I'm not going to. The more the merrier. If the runout's good for me, then that's good. If it's not, then we'll just move on to the next hand, you know? And the runout is definitely good for me. It's ace, queen, jack with two hearts. So I'm one away from my flush draw. I have top pairs, so many outs. Hopefully we get there. And now they decide to lead out, so I'm guessing someone has either an ace. Someone could have ace jack already. Someone could have like jack, king jack, and now here comes a eight of hearts, so it brings my flush draw in. I'm hoping they have ace queen right here. Maybe hopefully they get a straight draw because it's too far of a hand to fold. Especially in these stakes when someone has hands like that, they don't fold. I know I have a hard time folding those hands. So now they slow down and check. He goes huge right here. So since I have the ultimate nuts on the board, I'm just decided to raise it up and try to get him all in. So I'm just trying to think the right size. I scale down. I go like twice the size of his original bet. He snaps it off, and he did have a straight, so I knew he wouldn't fold a straight. So
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
I just feel good reckoning all that chips right there, and now we're definitely up huge right now. So we're at right under 10 chips, so double our buy-in easily. So we're in a really good spot. Hopefully this new table and this luck keeps up. I have king jack offsuit right here in the cutoff. I'm gonna raise it up to 0.06 chips. And now it looks like we're gonna get at least one caller. Maybe we'll go heads up to the flop, which we do when the flop's king, deuce, queen. So I have a flush draw on the board. He leads out right here. I'm gonna put in a call. Usually, maybe in this situation, I'll just fold, but giving up, I'm up a lot. I have room to play with, and now here comes a seven on the turn. So it doesn't really do anything for me. I'm guessing he has something like king queen in his hand, given the way he's been playing. And now here comes a king of hearts. So I improve to top pair right here on the board, and I'm hoping he has like queen jack, queen ten. He still on a check. Right here, I thought about betting just to see get some value, which I think I do. And I go about half pot, put some pressure on him. He snaps it off with ace queen, so I got there lucky on the river and the king from space. Now right here, I'm looking at king jack suited in the button. I was just checking this guy's stacks. Like I said, I'm still kind of new to the table, so trying to fill everything out. And he went kind of large, but I'm gonna call, giving him ultimate position, giving him up and all that. So hopefully this guy folds and replay this pot heads up. He takes a while to think about it, and he does land a foil, which is good. And now the flop comes couldn't come any better for me. It comes three jack jack, so I hit a set. I hit three of a king with my jack in my hand. I slow down and check it, and now he decides to bet with the five of diamonds on the turn. So there is a potential flush draw. I'm just gonna call. I hopefully it doesn't get there. I kind of want to play my hand a little bit slow, and now he decides to bet again with the 10 on the river. And I'm guessing I'm ahead. What could he possibly have unless he has ace jack? He kind of has me beat. So I'm going to re raise it to 1.50 chips. He quickly calls and he had pocket queen, so I haven't dominated the whole time. Maybe I could have got a little more value if I bet bigger or if I let out some more, but happy with that result. Now we're up three times the original starting stack. Thank goodness we switched tables and we're stuck at that small table right there. The best decision I made all day. But now I'm in the button with Queen Jack right here. Playing heads up with the flop 7 Ace 9. I'm gonna bet out, and now the turn gives us a two of diamonds. So obviously the flush draw is there, and I'm just sitting here with Queen High. He decides to bet once again. I take a second to think about it, but I'm just gonna call. I had the chips to play with. And now the four of clubs comes on the river. He slows down and check. When I check, I feel like whoever he has, I don't think I could beat. I thought he had an ace and he had eight high, so I guess he was trying to bluff me off. He should have went a lot bigger, but I take another pot down. And now I'm in the cutoff with ace 10 offsuit, hoping it makes its way around to me, which it does. So I'm gonna set the price of poker to zero point zero 0.08 chips. Now the button decides to put in the call, so we're gonna be second to last act. Hopefully the flop comes in my favor, has like how it has been recently. and the flop is 7 8 9. So very connected board. Obviously, I had a straight draw. Any jack gets me there. Any six gets me there as well. So that's what I'm thinking right here. And looks like it's gonna check all the way around to me. And I'm gonna bet a little bit right here just to see if I can scare some of these guys away. Maybe play some pot control, protect my hand a little bit. I get the button to fold out, which is always a good sign. Now I'm last to ask. And now the rest of them looks like they're all about to call, so kind of scary. And now with a seven hearts pairs the board, so I'm just sitting here with ace high. Like I said, hopefully it checks around. Hopefully I get there with my straight, but I decided to check. Looking back on it, I should have bet right there. I should represent that I did have the straight already. I mean, I just had like pair nines or something like that, pair eights, pair sevens. But I didn't, and unfortunately, with the eight on the river, they decided to bet and re-raise, and I just gotta fold my hand, throw my hand in the muck, and looks like I actually would have taken that one down potentially. Now I'm looking at it, which is kind of crazy, but it is what it is. I can't win every single hand, even though I want to. So now I'm looking at ace eight of diamonds right here. I'm gonna raise it up to 0.068 chips. We're gonna wait for everyone else to call and see how this plays out. But this is also a good thing. Once you guys are at a table and you know that table is just not working wherever the runouts and stuff are, sometimes I just like to switch tables. Sometimes I feel like that's the best bet. Just get different luck, different people, the way they different play. And sometimes that works out in the end. This is exactly what I did here. And now look at us right now. So now with the flop, king, deuce, queen, it checks through. And now there's seven on the turn. So I'm just sitting here with ace high. He bets again. I'm just going to fold this one. No need to keep on throwing chips in the middle. I don't have anything. I'm guessing he has either a king or a queen. So I let him have that one. And now we're looking at pocket jacks for the second time today. Like I said, I love my pocket jacks recently. I'm gonna raise up the price of poker as I always do to 0.08 chips when it wakes his way around to me. Now looks like we're gonna get some callers. Hopefully we don't get three bet right here, which you get a little spicy, which it actually does land up happening. Now I'm just thinking, what should I do? Should I re-raise it like I did my last time? And I think I do, especially given that he has a little bit of chips. I'm gonna re-raise it and hopefully get it all in with this guy. Hopefully, this guy in the middle, I squeeze and he gets out of here. He just doesn't like the price, and he does land up folding. And interesting that he just called. He didn't put the rest of the stack in, but since the fox 3 6 queen, I'm just gonna put him all in. He has king queen and he hits two pairs, so nothing I can do about that right there. He's got that one. Now we chip back down to just above 10 chips. And the hand right after I get pocket jacks again. What other chances? Jacks three times in one video is kind of crazy, to be honest. I'm going to raise it up this time to 0.08 chips. The same guy from last time is in this hand again. The flop comes ace 6 8. So kind of scary that there's an ace out there. I'm going to put in a bet. Obviously, they call. The likelihood that they have an ace is pretty high. We get one person to fold, the other person to call, and another now a queen on the board, so another card that beats me. It checks through, and now there's a eight of clubs right here. He checks it over, and I check it back, and he had pocket five, so I had him dominate the whole way. So that's gonna be the last hand right there. Another good session. I feel like my run good has been really good lately, but as you guys can see, my total bankroll right there, updated now, is 122.64. The session result is we're up $7.50. And just to guys let you know, after the first table, I left with 4.43 chips. And after this table, I left with 11.07 chips. So that's how I got that session result. Obviously, you subtract the 4 from what I bought in with. But a great session nonetheless. Thank you guys for watching. Make it all the way towards the end of this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and see y'all in the next one.